I'll tell you something about that off the air. The guy came through for the family and in a huge way because he's like, look, Joel is, he's like my top guy.
That's awesome.
If anything happens to him, I don't know what the fuck I would do. So as I'm going through this, like, I don't know my dad's at the hospital at this point. Um, I get the job to go get the theme song to Gene Simmons' Family Jewels for Kevin. I'm
Hmm.
like, well, all right, I can't really do it in this fucking room because we got the weather girl coming up here. We got to talk to her, get her on the fucking phone. So I get the intern to come in. I'm like, all right, this is what you're gonna do. When you pick up the phone, dial this number, get her on the phone, just say a quick hello. All right, it's gonna be about 2 minutes before we get to you. Put her on hold. Push this button. Don't touch anything else. You can hang up the receiver. You'll be okay. So I'm getting the audio and whatnot, and I'm like, all right, I wonder what the hell's going on in there. So I hit a button so I'm able to listen to what's going on air, and they're like, oh, it looks like we're having trouble getting the weather girl on, and I think it was Dylan Dreyer. You remember her?
No,
Smoking little hottie, let me tell you.
not familiar with her.
Look up pictures of her, man. She's pretty cute. Um, so yeah, so they're like, oh, we're having problems getting her on, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, dude, I explained this in black and white, like, couldn't get any fucking clearer. I could have explained this to my niece who barely knows how to use a fucking phone, and she could have done it. I was like, pick this up, punch these numbers, say a quick hello, push this button, you're done.
Not a hard thing to do.
Not a hard thing to do. So I'm like, all right, chalk it up to that's my mistake. Whatever. Okay, let's move on. Anybody has a problem, I can apologize, and hopefully we can move on with this. um, After the show, the program director comes up to me and said, "So what happened with her?" I said, oh, "This is what happened. Kevin had me go and grab this audio for him, and I had the intern do it." And he stops me right there. He's like, "No, no, no, no. That is not your job. Your job is to answer the phones. Okay, that's it. You don't get audio for them. You don't do anything else. Your job is to just sit there and answer the phones. Is that understood?" And I'm like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me." I'm just like, I understand. Yes, I fully understand. I apologize again. He's like, now that's money we have to give back to the sponsors because she was sponsored.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, well, fuck, thanks. So I'm just like, so I'm walking around. I'm just like, this fucking bullshit, man. What the fuck? And like the intern's nickname was Sherlock because he was the fucking dumbest fucking fuck you could ever meet in on this entire planet. Like just that'll be another story for another time. Um,
So
but
how does it make you feel? Angry.
yeah, exactly. That's pretty much it. Like angry. Um, so I talked to Braden. Braden kind of talks me down a little bit. He's like, you know what, man, it's a mistake. Don't fucking worry about him. He's a Napoleonic little piece of shit. Don't worry about him. And I'm like, he is kind of like Napoleon, isn't he? so so I get a call about maybe 20 minutes later, and it's my mom sobbing. She's like, your father's in the hospital. You need to get down here now. I'm like, oh shit. Because he came home like the night beforehand. He wasn't feeling very well, so he went right to bed, and apparently he got up during the middle of the night, collapsed on the bathroom floor, and that's where my mom found him, called 911.
Jeez.
So I'm racing down to the fucking hospital. Like before I leave, I tell Brain, I'm like, hey man, I gotta go to the fucking hospital. My dad's in the hospital. I gotta go. And I fucking bolt out the fucking door. So I get down there. I see my dad on like a gurney, just white as a fucking ghost. I'm like, oh fuck no, no no no. And I'm screaming like, Dad, can you hear me? Like trying to at least get him to like wave a hand or something, or Yeah, and I see the doctors like wheel him out. I look at mom. I look at my mom. I go, what the fuck just happened? What the fuck just happened? She's like, they don't know. They think it's something going on with his heart. I'm like, oh fuck. So my brother Ben comes by, and like I'm in full on like fucking just emotional shutdown. I'm crying, but I can't I can't feel anything else other than that. Like I'm not angry. I'm not all sad. I'm just emotionally I'm just like shut off from the world. Like pretty much just sitting in a corner.
Mhm.
So fast forward to my dad recovers. He wakes up eventually. Uh, and I'm like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Just thanking the doctors, like, thank you guys so much for everything you've done. Like this is, you guys are fucking heroes. So I'm at the hospital until about 11 o'clock, midnight ish, and
Mhm.
like I'm texting back and forth with Braden because like he knows my dad's in the hospital. I don't think the other guys know about what's going on. And so he says, you know what, man, take tomorrow off. You've been there pretty fucking late. I'm pretty sure you didn't even nap today. He's like, just take tomorrow off, be with your family. Don't worry about the show. We've got this. And I'm like, all right, man. Like, I'll try and make it in there tomorrow, but we'll see what happens. Next thing I know, I wake up. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get to sleep until like maybe 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oof.
So I'm like, at 7 o'clock, I send Brayden a text message like, hey, man, I'm really sorry that I'm not in there today. I really want to be there. If you want, I can still try and make it now. And he's like, no, no, no. Be with your family. Be with your family. So I said, all right, man. So I go, you know what, man? My dad's always liked these cats. They've always liked him. I'm gonna see if they've got this event coming up tomorrow, Friday, at this bowling alley. Like they were doing some bowling thing. Like if you bring like a canned food item, you get to bowl a free frame of bowling or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna show up there. I'm gonna see if they'll sign like a get well card for him. Kind of boost his spirits up a little bit. So I get down there. Braden's the first one to see me. He's like, "Holy shit, dude! What are you doing here?" And like, the other guy Pete comes over after they're done with the on-air break, and he goes, "Hey man, I heard about your dad. Is everything okay?" And I'm like bawling up at this point. I'm like, "Dude, we almost lost him." And he's like, "Holy shit!" He's like, "Is there anything I can do for you? Just let me know." I was like, "Would you mind signing this get well card for him? He really likes you guys." I'm tearing up just thinking about this right now. Yeah, sad story, man.
Yeah, man. It was scary as shit.
Yeah, it was fucking frightening, man. Um, so I said, would you mind signing this get well card for him? He really loves you guys, and he's forever grateful for you guys for taking me in like this, and giving me a job, and just kind of looking after me. So he goes, absolutely, absolutely. I'm just about to ask Kevin to sign the card, and Braden stops me, pulls me aside. He's like, "Hey, Kevin's not in the greatest mood right now." I'm like, "I can guarantee you, whatever's going on in his fucking bullshit, it's fucking slaps and tickles compared to what I'm going through right now." I said,
Shit.
if he can't sign the fucking card, then you know what, fuck him. Then whatever. I'll bring the fucking card with everybody else's signature, and just say what, Kevin didn't want to sign it. He wasn't in a good mood. So
Which sounds like shit, but
it
whatever. At least it's on him.
yeah, I'm like, all right, it sounds like shit, but it's on him. So eventually, Kevin pulls me aside. He's like, hey, how's your dad doing? I said, we almost lost him. Would you mind signing this card for him? He goes, absolutely, absolutely. And then he says, I apologize. I just wanted to say I'm sorry to you. I said, what did you do? And he goes, well, I went on the air yesterday morning and I kind of made light about your dad being in the hospital. I said, that's, you were just using it as an excuse because the program director yelled at you. That's why you weren't in today.
Cool.
And I was like, whatever, man. You apologized for it. Don't fucking worry. It's all good. So
Do that again because that's not something you joke about, asshole.
yeah, that's so I was like, if I could just I was just in the mindset of like, what, man, just sign the card. All's forgiven. And sure enough, he did sign the card. Um, but then I see the program director there, and I'm like, oh fuck. And it's one of those things like if looks could kill, I'd be dead. It's that look of like, why are you here?
Yeah.
You should be back at the station, or you shouldn't even fucking be here. Like I was told your dad was in the hospital. Why are you not with him? So one of the road crew members saw me. He's like, "Hey man, I heard your dad's in the hospital. Are you doing okay?" I was like, "Dude, I'm just emotionally just fucking drained right now. I don't know what the fuck to do anymore." He goes, man, why don't you, it's like, here's a ball. Why don't you go bowl a couple frames of bowling and try and clear your mind. I was like, all right, and I bowled a frame or two, and I was like, all right, that kind of helped a little bit, but eventually, we all leave and whatnot. And I get back to the hospital. I get him the card from everybody, and Monday rolls around, and I'm just like, you know what, man, I want to hear exactly what Kevin said that made him like. If it was bad enough for him to apologize, I want to hear what the fuck he had said. So I go back in the system and I listen to the opening break of that morning show from Thursday, and sure enough, there he is. Like, oh yeah, he says his dad's in the hospital. I think he's full of it because the fucking program director was just yelling at him and what have you. And I'm getting more and more fucking pissed just listening to this thing. And I was like, you know what, man? It's a good thing I didn't fucking like wake up early and try and listen to this, because if I had heard this, I would have driven up there and I would have beaten the shit out of him. Like I probably would have gone to jail for beating the shit out of him.
Maybe that's part of the reason why you didn't really talk to him afterwards.
Maybe I don't know, but
Fucking.
no, I really like I.
Joked about on air. Period. Even if you think it's not true, like you can't even make it public. It's actually kind of illegal for him to do that. I'm pretty sure.
Like he just all he said was like his dad's at the hospital. That's it. He didn't say like he's having this going on with it, which
But not for nothing. When you call out of work, you don't have to give a reason. First of all, and if you do, that's private. They don't. They have no right to air that kind of shit.
yeah, like they would air it like, oh I guess like if I was out for a day, they're like, oh, I guess he's not feeling too well today, so he's not in today.
Yeah.
Which the program director yelled at me for being sick one day, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking great. And of course he had to do it in front of people just to insert his fucking dominance.
Of course.
Like, this is my fucking cock. Bow for it. I'm like, you got a fucking raisin in your pants, you idiot.
So
And
that's LX, man.
that is fucking ZLX.
We'll get into the fucking New Hampshire station.
Yeah, we'll probably do that like next week or like another time or something like that. But it's that's another like big like disaster, if you will. I just
The train wreck.
yeah, pretty much yeah. Um, but yeah, so that's like the ZLX chapter of my life. You know, 5 years of loyalty, dedication, fucking hard work meant nothing.
For not.
It meant nothing. All it meant was like, hey, you're doing a great job and everything, but this guy's gonna come up here and do a better job.
You got a jacket.
Yeah, thanks. I can use the fucking Tinder. Don't worry. But yeah, it's again like if I sound bitter, ladies and gentlemen, like I'm still bitter about the whole thing. That'll take time to get over. I understand. But if be in my shoes, if you weren't mad about all of that shit happening to you, then clearly there's something wrong with you.
You like abuse.
You love abuse. You're probably you're probably a Mets fan. Who knows? If you like abuse, they've got 9 straight wins. Yeah, talk to me in October, man, motherfucker. When they're again not winning the World Series or not going to the fucking playoffs or choking late in the season, having like they're playing for a playoff spot and fucking choke in and out.
So you're a Mets fan?
What's that?
So you're a Mets fan?
No, no, Yankees all the way, sir. um, I will say though, like before we end this, I know I'm kind of going back on this, but they probably like the biggest surprise of like being